Welcome everyone to another episode of the Split Second Iceberg. Here we are on part 4. Now I know I've taken a month long break regarding the Iceberg videos, but I have been working on other projects as you see now with Split Second regarding the power plays and replays. But we're here now, so let's kick off 2023 with part 4. Do you ever get the feeling that an AI opponent knows just when you're going to power play another driver? Let me give you an example of this. When you tap the button to power play them, the power play itself goes off without any of your power being lost. I'm pretty sure people who have played the game will know exactly what I'm talking about. It's almost sentient. Over the course of the game's development, many cars have received changes in their lifetime. An example is the Ryback Thunder, once a mid-sized sports utility truck, now turned lift and rugged race truck. Other vehicles like the Titan and the GT50 also have gone through some changes. Now, we all know that a sequel is less likely to happen, but what you didn't know is that some developers that have worked on the game Burnout Paradise also worked on Split Second. The only names that come to mind is Paul Galancy, who worked for Citrion and was on the team that produced the original Burnout game, becoming the franchise designer director, and Steve Uphill becoming franchise art director. After Burnout Paradise, Uphill joined BlackRock Studios, and the rest is history. The Docks is a course that combines dry docks and parts of Ferry Wharf. It is a decently long track. Originally created for console versions of the game, but it was never completed. In fact, when I played the beta, I was expecting to actually play the full track, but sadly it wasn't finished. However, it is now in the PSP version, since that version takes after the beta. On occasion, you will find two suns on certain tracks depending on the weather the track is set in. An example of this is on Expressway. When you reach the pier, if you block the sun with a palm tree, you'll see the actual sun itself and a lens flare that makes up the shine of the sun. It appears to be a developer oversight. Surprisingly, you can still play the demo version of the game. It even has working multiplayer still, after 12 long years. Dating back from E3 to the QA beta versions of the game, there was a cut power play on Airport Terminal that has you destroy a skywalk facade. It is the building to your right when you come across the first corner. When triggered, it will obstruct the track along with billboards that fall onto the track from the left-hand side. I believe this was removed due to how difficult it was. Like some things, it made it to the PSP version. If you watch any of the E3 gameplay of the game, you will see that on your HUD, you will accumulate points for any actions you do. It is unknown why it has never made it to the full game itself, or what its true purpose was. Maybe to unlock other game modes if you accumulate X amount of points in one race, kind of like how you have to destroy X amount of cars for you to unlock the bonus event in season mode. What you are seeing here is a recreation of the scoring mechanic. Sources from the pit crew has informed me that the 3D heads-up display was patented in North America. We can come up with some good things sometimes. I will show you a couple of images of the patent itself. Like with the beta car designs, liveries were also changed throughout the game's development. You can see them in any introduction episode sequence or in pre-release screenshots of the game. There are a lot of liveries that were scrapped before the game came out, and the only liveries we got are stripes, lines, and patterns in solid colors. I wish the old liveries were in the game as they look more unique. Just like the liveries, there was placeholder names for the cars in the game. In the beta, you will see names on cars that can be recognized, like the Pursuit, for example. It was called the Canaletto 4600 GT, or the GT 500, which was called the Turner Double Six. Interesting names, I must say. This refers to a glitch that on either downtown central or construction site that includes these catwalks. On rare circumstances, if you trigger the catwalk power play on an opponent the same time an opponent tries to hit you with the same power play, both sides will come down, and unless you restart the game, you will not be able to progress. I believe this is why this particular power play is disabled in multiplayer. In the game's files, there are a ton of unused replays from any route changes or power plays that gives the replay prompt. There are cut cameras that are disabled, but within some file editing, you can enable them and see what they look like. There are some replay cameras that were from the beta that has made it to the final game. A lad by the name of Local Cash Register spent many hours, even days, to restore power plays that were removed or disabled from the game before its launch date. Shoutouts to him. He will have a video showcasing the majority of these power plays in the future when he finishes them. Like the Skywalk Terminal power play, there are some power plays that were removed from the final game. One example of this is a truck bed with jet engines stacked on top that you can trigger on Airplane Graveyard in the beta version, or some taxis before the pier on the expressway. Like the aforementioned Skywalk power play, they were likely removed due to difficulty. Ferry Quay was a beta name for Ferry Wharf for the game. It could be seen in the beta tutorial for season mode, likely changed because Wharf sounds better. Originally, Ferry Wharf was supposed to take place at night. However, this was changed before the game came out. Two examples of this happening is in the beta version and in the startup sequence in the final game, although it was shown for half a second. Footage of a bonnet camera option was included during the game's development, possibly in the beta version as well, but from what I can tell, it was either in the works or in the process of deletion due to how the camera will glitch out when you change it. It is now possible through the use of certain modifications. Well, this one is pretty simple. Near miss was the original name for the close call action when you dodge a power play. It was also called near miss in one of the handbooks for the game. What's a racing game without engine sounds, eh? For these cars in Split Second, they use real life car notes. For example, the engine sounds for the Cyclone RS and 530 GTS are both from a Toyota MR4's flat inline 4 engine. Another example being the Javelin GT12 and the Pursuit, as they all share the same engine notes of a Maserati Quattroporte, but in different pitches. You may not notice, but for certain cars in the vehicle selection menu, they have missing parts. However, some parts show in races. An example is the aforementioned Pursuit. Its front splitter and tow hook is absent in the front end, but when racing, these parts show up. The Pursuit is not the only car to have these attributes in the front end missing. The opponents you race against in season mode, spotted on the leaderboard in offline mode, or in any other activity in the game, are either the first or last names of the team at BlackRock Studios, like Bangs, Baines, Richardson, and Beckwith. The list goes on. I'm assuming that due to how the game was ported to PC, there are some replays that don't work for that version, but works for consoles. The second gas silo in Airplane Graveyard is one example of this, as destroying it with opponents in the vicinity of the explosion won't trigger the replay prompt. Well, that was part 4, and I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Part 5 will be in the making soon, but until then, I will see you guys next time. Thank you for liking, subscribing, and seeing more content just like this. I'll see you guys next time.